Okay, so I'm not sure where I left off last, but I think I was just mainly taking out the gas tanks. And I decided to just buy one, which it came in. I've been gone for a few days. So, and it's also been raining a lot, so I haven't really been able to do too much. But I got this new gas tank here. And no, it's didn't come black like this. It was actually silver. Steel tank I got, not a plastic tank. And I just spray painted it with the undercoating, the rubberized undercoating. And this also, the sending unit's new, and the pump that came with it. It was a sending unit pump combination. And so I installed this. It was kind of hard to get on. There's like a seal, and then there's this, which actually the tank came with the seal and the rubber lock, or the rubber seal, and then this metal lock. And then the sending unit also came with one. So I got two, but they were identical, so I knew that this was the right fit for this. But yeah, so I kind of put that on, and I kind of covered these up and spray painted that too. And so this is the 20-gallon tank, the big one, which I'm glad I got a bigger one. It's pretty much the only one I could get. So coated that down. Then over here, I put my muffler, I coated it down with some high temp paint, 2000, just a matte black. I went underneath there, not all the way to the catalytic, but I'll have to get that another day. And came out all the way to the tailpipe. So kind of doing a lot of little things. Painting at least. And then the lines, the fuel lines, I was going to use the old fuel lines on that other truck, but they weren't the best. I got them out. It was a real pain, and I'll show you why. I ended up using part of them. I'll show you what I did in a second here, but they go all the way underneath there, and I'll show you front here. It's kind of a pain. But underneath the truck here, so if you can kind of see, oops, sorry, let me get on here. Okay. All right, see where they connect right there? And those hose clamps right there? That's where they come out. And as you can see, it goes just like through under there. I'm like covering everything up because it's getting dark. But, so it's really hard to feed them through. And for some reason, the truck, that's the original. I thought maybe somebody did that, but that's the only part of this vehicle that had actual nylon hoses instead of the steel ones like the rest of it. So, and that comes up through here, somewhere around here. Oh, right there. They come up. But anyway, so if you're wondering how that works, it's a real pain. And I think in the future, I kind of have a fix that's probably only temporary. It might last a year or two. But once I start, if they start leaking again, I'm just going to see if I can get some nylon hoses. Probably expensive, but might be better than just using compression fittings, which is what I did. I had to put this main line here with the fuel filter. I had to put a new fuel filter on since I got the new gas tank. And lo and behold, the way they did it was they had this. They had this nylon fitting on both sides with hose clamps, just the way I did. Well, this ended up costing me, more than I thought too. And it goes back there. There's another nylon fitting up to there because this was all rusted out. I couldn't remove it. It's completely corroded. This nut here that goes from the line here. And so I had to buy two 3/8 inch, this fuel line here that goes, and with these at the end. Now, one of them costs like $14, no matter where you go. So I had to get this. Now, they come with compression fittings. So yeah, I basically $30 there. So they come with these compression fittings, which I could have just used on this line right here, but I don't really like them, so I ended up just clamping it on with this short hose here. So I'm hoping that that kind of does the job for now. I'm not sure if compression fitting would be better, but it's kind of hard to get in there. You have to tighten them down a lot. I'm just worried that that's more likely to loosen, more likely to corrode. The thing is, though, I did put compression fittings on here, and I'll show you. And what I did with this is these lines, they're not horrible. I mean, they're rusting, but they're not horrible yet. But everything beyond this point was bad on my truck, and I think that's where the leak was coming from. Let me stick this up here. So what I did was I cut off the old ones, or the ones from the truck, I'm sorry. And I cut the lines from the truck, and I just basically sanded them down, because the other truck, they weren't that bad. So I sanded all of the surface rust off. It's possible they were rusting from the inside out, but I sanded them off the best I could. I flushed some water through them, no leaks. So I spray painted them down with some Rust-Oleum. And actually this looks a little, I'll kind of show you what I did, but yeah, so anyway, I used the compression fitting. The larger one of, well, the large one of the three that goes to that fuel pump is 3/8. Then the medium one is 5/16, and then the small one is 1/4 inch. So I had to get the compression fittings for that. Did that real tight, as tight as I could. Not sure, like I said, that'll hold up. So I got these three here, and they're kind of close together, but I'll get that figured out. And then what I did to spray paint those, we'll see if this works, because you can just use regular spray paint, you know. But I actually used this Rust-Oleum leak seal flexible rubber coating, and I thought, yeah, hey, that'll kind of like put an extra coating, like a rubberized coating on it. And then I used this metallic finish because that looked crappy with the white, so then I'll put that on the top. So I'm not too worried about that falling apart. I'm more worried about the fittings, about that. So we'll see. I might have to tighten some stuff up before I put everything back. Anyway, so, and then the gas tank I'm just gonna put on the rubber hoses again and the clamps. And I'll come over here and I'll show you that. I was kind of looking around. I couldn't figure out what to do. And they make stuff for this, but it's kind of expensive what I could find. But this comes with these two. For some reason, are like the original. You just put the clamps on them. That's fine because they have the flare there. This one has flares, but they also have these little screw-on nuts here. So I thought, well, I couldn't find an end to go on that. So I'm just going to push these back. You know, I'm going to probably spray paint. I'll probably put the hoses on and just clamp it right here. Just put the hose clamp on each, you know, a couple on each one. Just real tight so that I think that'll work fine. I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do since I couldn't find anything for this. And then I'll just kind of maybe seal this up so it doesn't rattle around here. I'll probably push it up, you know, as much as I can. And I don't know, figure something out. Alright, so the next thing I did was, oh, this is a lot of fun. Oh, I gotta paint this. This was sitting under here. I'll paint that next. But this is what holds on. There's 4 bolts over here, and it holds, and you sit the gas tank on there. So I sprayed it down really good. I gotta do that. There were a couple on this thing. Oh my gosh, it's crooked, but it'll work. couple of these, like, what do you call them? Like rivets. And they were really a pain to get out. I was trying to chip them out and I just grinded them off, and I didn't do the best job because I didn't have an angle grinder at the time. I was just using some grinding tool. And then I just drilled holes and crooked, but it'll definitely work. I lined them up and made sure that it's gonna work. It'll just be a little crooked and it'll still go on straight, and I just, whatever. Just ignore that part. And I got these straps too. I spray painted them. They don't come with a gasket, but I don't know if I'll need one. I'll just spray paint it again real good when it's underneath there. Maybe I'll put a rubber thing. I don't know if I'm gonna even put a gasket on there or not. Just get it nice and tight as I can. So the next step I did. Oh, the lighting's bad in here now. It's getting dark and rainy. So I was getting ready, prepping this down to paint. And I'm like, well, these shocks look pretty bad, so I thought I'm going to take the shocks off and paint them, or see how good they are. Now, here's the shocks. And you can kind of see. I'll move them to there's more light here. But they're not really in bad shape. They're a little bit rusty, which I can just, as you can see, they're pretty hard to press down, and they come back up. I mean, they're in good shape. So they still have a few miles. And even though I lowered my truck, I think it'll come back up. Maybe they're not in the best shape. I'll have to see. But, nope, they're coming. So, this is about where they're at, I think, when it's down. So, they're still good. There's lots of fluid in there. So, I'm going to try to keep these. Because in the back, it's still a pretty stiff ride. It's in the front that I probably need shocks. So, different shocks at least. So, I'm just going to paint this. I think I was going to paint it pink. I'm going to put that rubberized coating on and then paint it pink over the top. Because, of course, that won't stay pink for long. But that was a real pain to get out, let me tell you. So I had a big problem with that. It spent me pretty much all day doing that. You have to go buy different sockets and stuff. So I'll show you kind of what I did under here. This isn't holding anything up. I just put it there for now. Because I was going to paint kind of just to put it there. But I had these U-bolts on here. And as you can see, these U-bolts have a really fine thread. It's way up here. I mean, can't even focus. It's so fine. And there's rust. I mean, it's mostly surface rust, but they get rusty so fast. I don't know why they make them so fine. I bought new ones. Well, first of all, what happened with... Oh, I kind of have to get to the point here. So I'm taking off these shocks. And underneath here, I'll show over here, is probably easier to show. But these shocks right here, there's 2 bolts up here that you just got to take out. 13 millimeter they are, and then I think I put like a ½ inch or something on top just to hold it in place. It's probably 13 too, but I didn't have just you gotta hold the nut in place and pull it out. And then over here there's this plate that goes underneath here, which is right here. Plate goes underneath. You got the 2 U-bolts, and then the shock is bolted on there. Now check this one out. This bolt came out to about here, or it's a mounting bolt. Broke right off, kind of like butter. Just started turning it, snap. So yeah, it's pretty rusty, I guess. This was a pain to get that that shock off. There's that rubber bushing. It's really hard to pull this off. That rubber bushing was on there so tight. So I'm I basically twisted and turned and banged and beat it off. And so I got it off because I do want to keep those shocks. Like I said, they're still in pretty good shape. So I was hoping I didn't have to cut them. But this, I'm out of luck. However, my other truck that I bought, I have, these are the identical, and they're actually they're a little bit different. I think the mounting bolts on the other truck, I would go out there, but it's raining right now, so I couldn't take them off. I got the shocks off the other truck real easy, just slipped right off because they're old and corroded and not the originals. I think the bushings were all like dried and and shriveled. So I pulled it off, and it looks like it's a little bit smaller, this mounting bolt. So it looks like it might work a little better, but this plate looks identical. It looks to be about the same size. The bolt's in the same spot. So I'm just going to take it off the other truck. So it works out. And even the other side was like this. And look, as you can see, this is pretty rusty there too. So I'm just going to have to take the other side off as well. I'm not sure what I'm going to do about those bolts in the other one. This whole plate looks better on the other one too, but there's some U-bolts on the other one that they're at least the thread isn't fine, and I might be able to get them off. If I can't take the bolts off, it's going to be a pain, but I'll just have to take my cutter and cut them off, because that's what I did with these. Because I was going to take each one off. I'm like, you know what? There's 4 of them. What am I going to do? Just cut them off with the grinder. So that's where I got myself a fairly reasonable grinder. I went to Menards and I got this Performax grinder. And, you know, it's one of the cheaper ones, not the cheapest. Don't get that tool shop stuff. So, because that's crap. So I just got this. It was like $30. And then I got a cutoff tool set. And this was actually like $20 on sale. I know it's tool shop, but it'll fit anything. It's 4.5-inch wheels. So it's got all this stuff in here. And it's got 4 cutoff wheels, grinders, and all this stuff. So that was pretty good. That was at Menards. So, yeah, I basically just went in, cut those off there, and I kind of holding this up, but this is pretty much holding itself in place. So, the way it is. So I'm going to leave, you know, this is still in good shape. But while I got this all off, what I'm going to do tonight now is, even though it's kind of a rainy, crappy night, it's still dry enough in here that I'm going to start spray painting this. I got it cleaned up. I'm going to wipe it down a little bit more so the paint sticks a little better. It's not going to be perfect. Not all the paint's going to stick. But it'll be something. And, you know, this will be something next year. It's probably only going to come right back and you'll see all the rust right through. But at least it will be, you know, it'll kind of hold it up maybe 50% more than if I didn't do it throughout the winter at least. And then next year, spray paint it again. Well, we'll see. Fix it up, kind of. I mean, that's what I do. Alright, so this has gone on long enough, but I have done quite a bit of things so far. And I'll come back and show you some more later. Okay, bye.